that you all view every Tuesday on this station, BCOS television, on Tuesdays, Iliakederuta Basharon in the city of Ibadan. And like you all know, Matters Arising has to do with us bringing you guests after treating some issues, important issues that is affecting the country, either positively or negatively. And we also bring guests that will analyze these issues, talking about agriculture, the economy, talking about the petroleum sector, insecurity, criminality, and other related issues. Well, this is how we do it every Tuesday on this station, BCOS Television, Iliakederuta Basharon in Ibadan. The program is Matters Arising, and my name is Bimba Kombi, your regular host. And to bandits, some will call them terrorists, but me, I always call them criminals. Yes, bad-minded people. A teacher was killed. That very day, the operation was carried out. Another teacher was beheaded when the abductees had been in the bush for about some days. And one worrying thing is that those primary school pupils, ages 2, 4, and above, secondary school, the eldest, about 15 or 16, yes, they have been there for about 19 days now. And, just imagine what is really happening to them now. Government has weighed in, the Oyo State government, the Oyo State governor has talked, the federal government has talked. Solidarity, visits have been done. Now, what is happening now is that teachers, when, they felt that nothing is being done, but some things are being done underneath. But, things like that, in order not to, in order to prevent collateral damage, some things are being done tactically, but it is really not working. Now talking about negotiation. Negotiations, the bandits were said to have asked to talk to the governor directly, but which I don't believe can be possible. But I think there are some avenues where they are communicating. That is according to some information. And we are hearing again that some kind of forces, some kind of moves were trying to be made about 3 or 4, 5 days ago, and which was repelled by these terrorists. And we are saying here now, I have in the house today to talk about this recent hostage situation in Orire local government area of Oyo State in Ogbomosho, and it has sent panic down the spines of people living in this zone of the state. Yes, the NUT just recently, I think the day before yesterday, last week, they issued that the schools, all schools in Oyo State all teachers must withdraw their services, and the students should, not attend classes. And yes, it was abided by. And yes, since yesterday, there were various protests, peaceful protests, and today the teachers are on the streets now, just embarking on their own peaceful protest. Of course, not a kind of violent protest. And today, I have in the house Engineer Babalola Famade. Is the chairman, Nigeria Red Cross Society, Oyo State Chapter. You're welcome to the program today.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
And of course, yes, and of course I have a usual guest in the house, public affairs analyst, Mr. Bright Richard. You are very much welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone who's watching, and good afternoon to my host and my colleagues.
Yes, yes, and what we'll be discussing today is talking about the Orire hostages. Is it about deploying forest guards? President Tinubu said he will deploy 1,000 forest guards to the area and some other forest reserves in Oyo State, and maybe some other areas are joining. And is that the the solution for now, or is it about dialogue? Is it about dialogue? And well, of course, you can watch us live. Yes, on TV, StarTimes, channel 113, and Go TV, channel 134, terrestrial, channel 28 UHF, and live streaming on facebook.com/BCOS TV, YouTube, BCOS TV, YouTube channel. Yes, you can check us there, you'll meet us there. BCOS Television is the station, and Matters Arising is the program. Yes, let's go straight to these questions. There is a question that at the end of the day I will like to ask you, just seek your own opinion, talking about this ongoing protest by public and private primary school.
The lives of those hostages, in terms of their living, the conditions they are, and also what can be done, at least to get them life, and make sure to also integrate them back into the world, even by the time they are released. These are the major concerns, at least for us in the Red Cross, for now.
Yes, and do you believe the deployment of forest guards? Do you believe that the deployment of this category of security agents, do you think it can significantly reduce kidnapping and criminal activities in forested areas of Oyo State without the collaboration with other security apparatus?
Yeah, thank you very much. Issue of security in the country, this now depends on the government. Either bringing the forest guides, the security, there must be a connection between them to make sure that they do this thing very well, and the essence of we, the Red Cross, that is humanitarian, is taken care of. Because whether the security being bring or the guides, we are more particular about the life of those hostages. As we all heard, about 2 years old child is there, the children in the primary school, in the secondary school, and even the adults, the trainers, that is the teachers. It's alarming, so we are much interested into their life and the way they live their well-being on these two stages.
Okay, Mr. Bright, how would you assess the response, yes, government's response to the Orire hostage incident that happened about 19 days ago?
Well, if I'm to give you a direct answer, I would say it's a terrible response. It took the federal government not less than 2 weeks before they decided to pay that community a visit, after Nigerians have been crying. Few days after the adoption, Mr. President was in Lagos. And Lagos to Ibadan is less than 2 hours. Even if you can't get to the really local government, at least show some sympathy. If you talk about leadership, there are qualities that makes you a leader. It's not just the position or what you occupy. As the number one figure, the commander-in-chief, because there are two words we've been debating in Nigeria when it comes to insecurity. They say the governor is the chief security officer and the president is the commander-in-chief. So let's relate the two of them. If the governor is the chief security officer and the president is the commander-in-chief, so the chief security officer can give a security report and the commander-in-chief may not give order. For the president to come up now to say that they want to recruit 1,000 forest guard, the question I will ask is, you are recruiting now. It's like the case of an emergency. Thank God the Red Cross, they are here, they are into the medicals. When there's an emergency and somebody is being rushed to the ICU, and the hospital management is saying they want to go and train a doctor, or they want to go and recruit a doctor that will come and attend to the patient. Several questions will be asked. What is the level of qualification of that doctor? What is the number of experience is the doctor having? And is the doctor familiar with that particular scenario, that particular case? You want to recruit 1,000 forest guards. And there have been a geographical mapping that right from Sambisa down to the old Oyo National Park, there is a link. So will the 1,000 guard be able to secure that entire premises?
But
That's
there
one
had-
question.
But there have been some guards on ground already.
Where were they deployed to? That's another question. The forest, the old national park, in fact, it is so shameful that at 2026, we are still talking about human approach when the world have gone into IT. Not quite long, the Enugu State government bought an attack drone. When you have an attack drone, you don't need a physical contact with the bandit. We've been having issues of ungoverned forests, that we've been having strangers in our forests, living in those forests for years. You cannot send a Motekun there. And even if they are to go there, there are some places you would travel through the forest. You spend not less than 2 hours. During one of the the election, I think that was 2015, the one that took Jonathan off the post at is it a Joku side on Lalupo area. Okay. There's a particular unit I follow the core members to. When we go to a particular point, we have to drive for about 45 minutes before we go to a village. The roads are so bad. Left and right is thick forest, but there is a path where vehicles can pass. We drove to that point. When I got to that point, the first thing I saw, I was seeing posters, campaign posters. So I was like, if politics can get to this point, governors cannot get there, then there's a problem. And beyond that point, there are still places where unknown strange people live. So if we want to secure the nation, is 1,000 forest guard enough to do that? And mind you, when you are talking about 1,000 forest guard, what is your job specification? Are they coming to rescue these ones? Or are they coming to secure the forest? Mr. President should let us know. If they are coming to rescue this one, do you think the timing is right? Because when you talk about this, it's an emergency. We've talked about 19 days or thereabout. These ones have been in the forest. It rained yesterday. It may rain today or tomorrow. And those of us that have shelter over our head, we know how cold it is. So imagine 18-month-old baby in the forest, exposed to reptiles, exposed to insects, exposed to cold. Only God knows the kind of food they are feeding them with. And we are still talking about recruiting. So it's strange. So I don't really go by that suggestion. And if you also listen to the last video released by the principal or through the principal,
Yes.
One of the statements she made is that the government should not apply force.
Yes.
They should negotiate with these people. That will not give you an insight to the conversation within the forest. When they wanted to speak, they said they want to speak to the governor.
Yes.
And if you look at the trend of kidnapping, in Ibadan, before that major attack, in Oyo State, before that major attack, there have been pockets of kidnapping. One person here, one at Ejinore, one at Bodija,
and even killings in this own Oyo National Park.
There was
those five forest guards.
So
that were
these
killed.
are warning signs. That's why I would say the two set of people, the commander-in-chief and the chief security officer, cannot be spared. In fact, there was a time they said a letter was written, whether true or false. When it comes to security, you don't play with intelligence. No matter who is conveying that intelligence, whether from a little child. That day I saw somebody in the bush. I was going to my house some months ago, and deep down into the forest, I saw a reflection of a phone light. So I was wondering, what is somebody doing there at this time of the night? It gives concern. So you don't play with security information. And when there are informations, you have to deal with it. Right from the time the U.S. threatened to attack Nigeria, then I began to understand or begin to perceive that there's going to be a mass exodus of these bandits from the north down to the south. Because if you make the north unbearable for them, they will relocate. And if there are opportunities for them to come to the south, they will. So it's not left for the southern governors to close their borders. But how many of them have closed their borders? And you're talking about forest guards. I know in most European countries, they have what they call border control.
Yes, border control.
These people mount the borders. They know who is coming in and they know who is going out. Irrespective of that, the location of that border, you must mount your borders. So state governors should be thinking of mounting their borders. Now we are struggling between dialogue or attack or whatever. But I will always say that if you have a relative or somebody in that midst, you know what it is. Because I said it in one platform that kidnapping have made me to understand that sometimes it is even better or it is safer to hear that the person is dead than being kidnapped, because the trauma you keep on living with as long as the victim is still there, you only pray they should be released. So the families have been going through a lot. So we just pray that something should be done, both federal and state, but it's so sad that some people are deciding to play politics with it. Some are saying the governor should humble himself. Some are saying the president should do this. On whatever side you want to belong, this is a national issue. And another question I ask, when it comes to kidnapping school pupils, have we not come to ask ourselves that why is it that it is public schools?
I think a private school was also involved.
And if you look at the private school, the category of the private school, because when you target the public school, you are getting the government attention. Because it's more or less like a state attack. And when you get the state involved, what is the negotiation? 15 billion. Where would they see that money from? In fact, somebody was cracking a very expensive joke that the leftover from the Bodija money, the governor should use it and pay it and keep the change. But it was an expensive joke. But is there sense in what he's saying? We'll look at it. What matters? Is it the money or the lives? And I always say the negotiation is not a bad idea, but it's the way and manner we negotiate in Nigeria. You negotiate with bandits, you pay ransom to them, and you let them go. They will come back for more.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. They will still come back.
But why not negotiate with them? You pay them, and you trap them at the front.
Yes.
There are ways to go about it. There are approach, there are strategy, and I believe security agencies know all this. But why are they not doing it is what I don't know.
Yes, before I come to you, engineer, this, just yesterday, some people they were nearly kidnapped along the Kogi Expressway, about 15 luxury bus. And there was this swift counterterrorism operation, via phone lines. Some quickly made some calls along that route, and yes, of course, the security operative just came coming, and those people, they fled into the bushes. Now, a woman in this Olili, some of those kidnapped children, yes, one of their mothers, now said they were trying to do the same when that issue happened, but there was no network in that area. So who can we blame for this? Who can we just point out for this?
No, I was even wondering who they want to call. Is it the local police post they want to call? Have you not seen police running away from robbers?
Yes, they want at least to give information.
No, but the thing is that I understand the point they are driving at, because there should be communication. And where there is communication, I know the governor always say, if you see something, say something. And when you see something, who do you say it to? Communication has been an issue in the country, because almost the average person living in Ibadan, who do you call? I just had an experience last week, Thursday, in my neighborhood, where we saw somebody who looked suspicious to the neighborhood. And we had to call the police, and they said they will not come, that we should take him to the hospital and treat him, because we told them that we found some bruises on his face. And after interrogation, he said he was attacked at a road under bridge. And we relay all that to the police, and they said they are not coming. That we should hand him over take him to the hospital for treatment. And even if they will come, we'll buy their, fuel. We'll fuel their vehicle. Or better still, we should just let him go. So when you see that kind of conversation, and I begin to ask myself, could this be the reasons why Nigerians go into jungle justice?
Justice, yes.
Because even the justice system, before justice is being served, you must have been frustrated. He must have. In fact, what one of the community leaders said, taking him over there, the full responsibility of his welfare will be on the community. You have to feed him. You have to do everything. And imagine you feeding a criminal in police custody. In quotes, let me use that word in quote because it's not pronounced until the court says so. So when you now look at all those things, like in Kogi State you mentioned, if you can cast your mind back according to some reports, before now, Kogi State wanted to become another hot zone.
Yes.
But due to timely intervention of security agents, they have to flush these guys out. And I was just thinking some thoughts were coming to my mind before this program started, that I pray that in Oyo State, we don't begin to have IDPs in Oyo State. Because if Orile local government is almost becoming a ghost town, which means the occupant of those places must have moved. And where are they going to? They can't go to Kwara. Kwara is hot. Where would they come? They will come down south, come through Oyo. Oyo is closer. And there is threat, there is fear. So where's the next point? Ibadan. Ibadan becomes crowded. So these are things that will begin to lose. So where would they now begin to plant IDP's location? Is it the community grammar school at this community? They will now convert the school to IDP settlement. So before it gets to that point, what do we need to do? The governor talked about what do you call it? This is surveillance helicopter. Even when they came up with that idea, I said it's a wrong idea for me. It's my own take. Because a situation where you buy the surveillance helicopter, my mind went to the Light Up Oyo project when they started it with standby generating set. Cost of maintenance will be there. You need pilots to fly. And if they are to fly, you will pay them. But if you have an attack or a surveillance drone, you can sit somewhere at a security checkpoint, at a security post or a situation room, and you deploy your drone. You can go at you can cover a lot of distance. You will see it will spot movement. And when you spot movement, you zoom. And by the time you zoom, you'll be able to get those people, know their plan. But when you are going with surveillance helicopter, the noise will be there. They will spot it. But drone can be at a very far distance, unspotted, but you are seeing the movement and lively activities going down there.
Yes, and even noiseless.
Yes. Yeah. So these are things, so we need to take a step higher. Funny enough, these bandits or criminals or terrorists we are talking about, these people are advancing. When Gumi said that what they have this attack that can bring down an aircraft. Anti-aircraft gun. When he made that statement, after that, they've advanced from that stage where they now use attack drones. If bandits, terrorists are using attack drones and our security personnel don't even have it, then we are in problem. So I think we need to be one step ahead of them. That's just my submission.
Yes, thank you for that extensive explanation. And, engineer, one teacher was killed during that attack. Well, while after abduction, another one was beheaded brutally. Yes, and was brutally killed. What does this portend for us? What does this tell us about the risk to the remaining hostages? Because when that attack wanted to come up, those from the military and the combined forces wanted to come up, it was foiled by the terrorists. And they now did another video. And, it went viral. That was when the woman was crying that they should help them, that they should not take the approach of, use force and go for negotiation. And that another teacher had been pinpointed for beheading. So what does it portend for the hostages?
Thank you very much. As I've said earlier on, the life and the well-being of those hostages are the most paramount issues to we in the Red Cross. We only need to appeal to the government, whatever method they want to use, which they have said, which we want them also at least to start action on it on time. Either the forest guide, the security to meet together, and as the woman has said, I think the principal, that said they should not use force. Look at the teacher that was beheaded. And another one, as she said, that has been marked. The life is very precious. The moment it has gone, that is the end. So whatever needs for them to do is they have to do it now, which I believe they are doing something, but they should eliminate the issue of force, tactically, intelligently, of whatever they want to do because the stress and even the strain those children are going through, I just pray to God to get them on time. It will take many months and years to resuscitate them back into the life. And the government have to just intensify effort much on this so that all others that are remaining can be brought back live and seen to be treated, to be looked into.
Okay, now how can local communities collaborate with security agencies to improve intelligence gathering and early warning systems?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's one my other man has said the other time.
Yes.
Information giving is very, very necessary.
Information gathering.
Yeah, but he mentioned also when you have the information, who are you giving it to that can act immediately? And to that, we are still appealing to all other people and mostly the agents or even the community people that whatever situation that happened, we should get in lines of who to talk to. Like if it comes to issue of disaster or a first aid or even an accident, we'll be telling them, even if you are making contact to the Red Cross, they will be able to get your information out on time. Either to the security, because you see some common, as he has said, they called them about an incident they saw on the road. They asked if they want to take care. They will pay for petrol, pay for all these things. Red Cross is not like that. The moment we have that information and we know it's a team we can move into, we get in there with the first aiders and make sure to, at least as a first aiders, to ameliorate that situation at that particular time. But issue on bandits, Red Cross can't go in there straight away. He has to make sure he gets the security and those people online. But the Red Cross will be on the background. We want to look to the life or even any jury or someone sustain it or so, as is applicable in the war. That we know the Red Cross, as a first aid to give out. So these are issues to me I think we can do and the community can help to give an information out. As we said, there are many people in our community that you just see a strange face and they don't even talk about it. You have to, because that is where a security issue starts. Get information out, even if it's to the leader of that family, the Mogaji or Bale also in that area, then they can get information out. From there, we can easily come. As you said, look at what happened in the National Park some months ago, before this one. So information is very, very necessary and the right person to give the information to. And we, the community, have a lot to do in giving that first information out so that it can be tackled and harnessed into.
Okay, now, terrorists have, I want Mr. Baricha to also answer to this question. Engineer, terrorists, they have opened a channel of communication. Yes, they said they will not speak with anybody except the governor. And they said they will not speak or negotiate with any family of those abducted. I don't know. Why are they not talking to the family members? And is government ready? Do you think, your own opinion, government ready to talk with them directly?
Well, the body of the criminal, as you've said, has a reason of saying that they want to talk to the government or to the governor. And as the governor, which is the father of the state, I think he should be ready to talk with them. At least talking with them, maybe there will be a way out of what to do. We know they will demand for ransom. And the government can say whether they have that or not, and even still negotiate. And that is the essence of it. But the most important thing is those people that are there, the life, they are more precious. Even if they are just under 50 in numbers, the 50 will become millions in future. And what they are also still also going to bring even to the country or to the states. So using dialogue or talking to him, to me, I will appeal, and I know the government is capable, at least to talk to them, to start somewhere, so that they will not do some other naughty thing. And because life is precious.
Yes, Mr. Richard.
Yes, if you look at, like I said at the beginning, it's a state attack. And since it's a state attack, they want to deal with the state. Because if it's an individual attack, those families cannot raise that kind of amount of money. They would have gone for high-profile persons. But a state attack, you attack, it's two things, either a church or a school, mass adoption. And when they do that kind of mass adoption, it gains a lot of noise and it gathers a lot of sympathy. In fact, people are clamoring that no school in Nigeria should open. These are things that will mount pressure on the government to want to negotiate with them. Because by the time pressures are coming from opposition, pressures are coming from civil society, pressures are coming from international community. Look at when it happened, is it Chibok girls? Even as far as from the White House, bring back our girls. And funny enough, all those people who led those campaigns, many of them are silent today. Bring back our girls, the Obamas, the Michelle, and the likes. Are they not even seeing what is happening in Nigeria? And in fact, funny enough, they said it's because it's politics. We are entering another season of politics. And not quite long, the governor declares presidential ambition, and all these are happening. Whether politics or no politics, a teacher was beheaded. That life has been cut off. An 18-month-old child is undergoing the worst phase of her life. Sometimes people don't understand what trauma is all about. In fact, I've witnessed some things, I've experienced some things that today, that fear, the stigma is still in me. So imagine that 18-month-old child surviving that, and I pray she surviving that scenario. It will grow up and become and see the Nigeria state as something like a jungle-like system. Yeah. So when you now picture all this, then the other ones, the other boys and the girls, it is a terrible scenario. So when they attack this way, and funny enough, if they scale through with this, and that's why I said I pray in Oyo State we don't begin to have IDP camp. They may want to come back because they were flash of kidnapping. They were attacked at the national park. There were insinuations, there were rumors. And this thing eventually came to pass. And this is like a first leg. And if you don't deal with it very well, because sometimes there's a controversy, sometimes if I listen to the governor, if I look at government officials, they speak, I see it, I look at them from two perspectives. If we negotiate with them and pay ransom, people will say the state is weak. If we deploy and use the stick approach and kill all of them and kill the victim, people will say the government is heartless. So they are now looking at which of the approach do we use. But I'm saying you can combine both approach, negotiate with them, pay whatever ransom with them, get your people out. Once these guys are out, you launch your attack.
Yes.
Because if you listen to them carefully, and I would say kudos to the security agency, it's as if these people are being trapped.
Trapped, yes.
So if they are being trapped, that's a level of success. So what they are negotiating for is a safe exit. Because they know if ransom is being paid, they may be attacked and killed. So they need a safe exit. Then you can play along. With that as intelligence, you know how I don't need to teach them. There are people who have gone to war college. There are people who have been on the defense scheme and they've gone to a lot of trainings. I'm just solely to talk. And that's what we are doing. But beyond that, you know how to go about it. It took US to come all the way from their country to rescue just one person in Nigeria who was kidnapped in Niger. And they did that successfully.
Even without the notice of the government.
Mm-hmm. And they did it successfully. And you can't tell me that we don't have the best troop. I've been following up on some Nigerian troop. In fact, there was a particular tactical team I listened to their conversation. These guys said they were trained in Russia, that they are one of the best in the world. These are formation, Nigeria Army formation, that they are one of the best in the world. But we don't, when you have, and I begin to understand that you can have the best, but if you don't give them the tools to work, then the capacity, the delivery, the results will be ineffective.
Yes.
So I just, it's just a really is a sad thing, but we pray we don't go beyond. It doesn't go beyond this.
And very complicated too, because most times when I think about it, apart from worrying about those kids and the adults there, talking about if force, was even used at the end of the day, or is used at the end of the day, the collateral damage.
That's where we also get it wrong too, because I study biochemistry. There are certain chemicals you can use that can isolate. And even if that isolation, are saying Ebola and COVID-19 are created in a lab, molecular lab, which is possible. That's why I said I'm a biochemist. So there are biological weapons that are used that the government can use. Look at the alarm El-Rufai raised the other day. Talk about that particular crystalline substance. And people may not understand the effect of that crystalline substance. And it can still be used. All you just need to do, as it's rainy season, you can send it on the air, you put it there, it's going to get dissolved in their water, and it's tasteless, it's odorless, it's colorless. So there are so many things that can be used. There are a lot of strategy, that's the bottom line. So let them sit down and use the right strategy that will work.
Yes, engineer, with 39, children, well, over 39, what's the psychological impact of prolonged captivity? Yes.
There's no doubt about it. This thing is going to affect their psycho seriously. Because, as you said, look at that one 18 months child. By the grace of God, which you are praying that he will return back home. Even as he's transit in getting up in his life, what is he going to remember? We are praying that some of them, even by the time they release them, will not go a little insane. Because the trauma in it, we still even thank God, some people can even give life up when they were being pestily with that issue, either caning or all these things about it. But that's why to me, in the Red Cross, we are just appealing to the authority. Whatever measures they are using, dialogue, little resistance of force, which will not say force, because of what the principal has said, is getting them out on time. Because the longer the period, the great damage it is in their life, and even in their brain, in their situation, in everything they are doing in life. And that is why we want them out on time by any means.
And peacefully.
Peacefully, at least to reconnect back with their families. Even those families they suffer much, thinking, as my partner has said, it's better for someone even to die than to know that it's under a captivity. Because when you imagine what is actually going to happen to him or however there, it's a thing that is really will be very bad in mind. So, please, our governments, the security agents, all the organizations that are connected to this issue should help us out, because we need them. We want their life. We want their health. We want everything about them on time. And whatever we can do to resuscitate them back by the special grace of God by the time they are released, to join back with their families.
Yes, there's this issue I raised in the course of this program. The NUT, Nigerian Union of Teachers, nationwide, signed by its president, said, directed that all teachers primary and secondary schools should withdraw their, services, and that students should stay back home. Now, the directives, he said, according to that statement, I read, public and private schools, and people complied, but some private schools complied, some did not. Now, we did some situation reports yesterday from different areas of Oyo State, and people complied. But we saw that some private schools were, some students went to attended classes. Now, I now saw one report that startled me this morning, although that person had his reasons for saying that. That is talking about the president of the National Association of Proprietors, of private schools, NAPS, Oyo State chapter. He said he dissociated his association from embarking on the directive saying teachers should embark upon the removal of their services from schools. And this is according to a statement he made forward to the public yesterday. And he gave his reasons. I was thinking that when I read it inside the newspapers this morning, during one of our programs and a conversation on FM radio, he was giving some reasons. When I first read the story, I was saying, what is this man, and my colleague too, what is this man saying? He should have kept quiet and not say anything. He was speaking as if he doesn't have any human feeling. Yes, I don't know. Let me just quickly go through some excerpts of what he said here. Yes, the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, NAPS, Oyo State chapter, dissociated itself from the Monday protests. And, the association, in a statement signed by its state president, Mr. Olukunle Fajobi, advised all private school owners under its umbrella across the state not to participate in or associate with the protest in any way. And according to the statement, while NAPS remain concerned about the security challenges confronting the country, especially those affecting school children, teachers, and educational institutions, such issues should be addressed through constructive engagement and collaboration with relevant authorities. And it goes on further to say, the association maintained that it is committed to advocating the safety and welfare of pupils, students, staff members, and school proprietors through lawful and responsible channels. And the association noted that the protest appeared to be motivated more by political considerations than genuine humanitarian concerns. Yes, I just want you to just peruse those statements, Mr. Bright.
I will still maintain my stand that it would have been better they kept quiet. Because for them to say politically motivated, whether politically, culturally, if that is possible, or whatever thing that is motivating it, one thing is constant. School pupils were adopted. Teachers was adopted. Now, you are a proprietor. You have teachers working under you that you don't care about their welfare. Let's examine all the private schools. How many of their teachers are well taken care of? NUT is teachers, and the private school teachers are not under NUT. So that's why they cannot speak. So the NAPS have to speak on their behalf. It shows how insensitive they can be. It shows how insensitive. How many of the private schools can withstand a security challenge? There was a time in Bodija, I think it's a teacher and a pupil was kidnapped, or almost kidnapped. So we don't pray it gets to that level. When it comes to issues like this, I don't have a family member there. I don't have a relative there. But each time I try to think about it, in fact, it got to a time I stopped watching some of the comments. There was a protest yesterday, and one of the grandmother was talking of 4 of her grandchildren there.
Yeah.
And somebody is saying it's born out of political concern. I pray this thing doesn't backfire against them in the nearest future.
And of course, there was a private school was involved. A private primary school was involved in that incident, belonging to one church.
It shows that these people, because normally when it comes to education, I believe education should be a social service, not for profit. Because if you begin to look at some of these schools we call mushroom nursery and primary schools, just 2-bedroom flats, and you carve the city room into 3 classrooms, and you
it
bundle all the children like
yes, and
sardine
they call
inside
it
there.
International school.
And if it was in Lagos, I begin to understand what name truly means. Because when you come to go to so many places, you see this multi-story school, international school, high school, grammar school. They should be meant, you see some of them telling you British curriculum and the likes, just a way to extort money from parents.
Right.
And they know what it will cost them if their school is being shut down. Because number one, parents will not come. Number two, the extramural classes that they are using to extort parents, it will stop. Even when government told them the other day, you know, when this end of year party graduation and all the forms
Yes.
of extortion that they were doing from parents, then when government slammed it on them and they should stop. But that is part of the reason why they are also navigating and coming up with this kind of stand. It's a very wrong stand. It's better you are quiet. Anybody who wants to partake, you can say we are neutral about it. It is your choice. If you want to partake, go ahead. If you feel you cannot partake, we don't have any query on that. They're coming up to issue a statement and also tagging it that it's politically motivated. No, it's a wrong statement. Maybe if you check their linkage, some of these people are partisan. Some politicians have schools. And when they get schools, they begin to push themselves into head in some of this association, so that by the time they will come for election, they begin to navigate association. As in fact, as I'm even speaking, I begin to remember some proprietors I know who belong to some political parties. So they are speaking with their party mouth, not with NAPS as National Association of Proprietors of Schools.
Yes, engineer. Well, you want to comment on
Yes, I think they are said well.
just briefly?
Yes, I believe, or I thought that they're supposed to retain a degree of silence about it, of not even making anything. Because those children, I didn't mean they are also in their own school. We did say the same thing. One thing that is most important in this life, which I thought they're supposed to look into, unless you're humanitarian, is the life involved. And if the UT has said that, I think even the government might have even seen reason behind that. And ways maybe to be at home to rescue this might be better. Look at during the coronavirus this thing. Were they even bold enough also to stay in their school then? So I think maybe God will enlighten them the more. But the life is more important in everything.
Yes, just briefly now, in 1 minute, your messages to government, security agencies, and of course the people.
We should understand that as clearance operation is ongoing by the joint US and the Nigeria forces as against ISIS, we should know that these people are moving southwards and government needs to mount their borders. Or your state, check who are those coming in and those going out. Everybody needs to be security conscious.
Yes, engineer.
Yeah, thank you very much. As you said, we have to be security conscious. And the Red Cross Society also remain deeply concerned to the well-being and even a good thought to the parents concerned.
Yes.
And the well-being of the hostages.
Yes.
We believe with what the government are doing right now, I believe we are going to get them soon.
Yes, I want to thank you very much, Engineer Babalola Famadi is the chairman, Nigeria Red Cross, Oyo State Chapter. Thank you very much for coming on the program. And Mr. Brett Richard is a public affairs analyst. Thank you very much, Mr. Bright.
Thank you very much.
And yes, we have extensively delved into these issues that is, surrounding the abduction of these pupils and students and teachers and principal of 3 schools in Ogbomoso local government. And of course, talked about what government should do and all what it entails to ensure that nothing happens to these kids. And once again, I want to thank you for coming on the program. And we'll come your way again next week with another edition of Matters Arising on BCOS Television, right here in the city of Ibadan. And I want to thank my producer, Jemia Lao, and of course, assistant producer, Mutiu Ogunwale, supervising producer, Bomi Edemi, and of course, my executive producer, Dotun Olaiton.